Morning, everyone. How are we doing? June 9th, Tuesday, June 9th, I believe. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And first thing I want to do in this video is talk about running stocks, what used to be called pump and dump. And that is because I saw some very unusual activity occurring in the stock market in, frankly, bankrupt or soon to be bankrupt stocks. More importantly, stocks that have enormous amounts of debt that will intervene before common stock is paid out. And I'm most talking today about Hertz and Chesapeake Energy. So, Hertz has over $20 billion in debt. A lot of their assets, which is their fleet, are depreciating by the day. And for some reason, it's become cool to kind of buy Hertz and bid it up, and it was trading at over $4.36 yesterday. When it went bankrupt, it was a dollar something and traded it under a dollar for several days. And first off, if you got in early, you rolled the dice. Congratulations on your win. But I don't think that's most people. I think there's some actors out there somehow playing on the heartstrings of the Robinhood investors and hurting them. And I say this from someone who had experience 20 years ago from the dot-com crash, where seemingly the same thing, right? Companies that weren't making any money, no revenue, were spending gobs of money, and it felt really good. It felt great. We were doing well for years, and then suddenly you weren't. It could be wiped out so fast. And then Chesapeake Energy, wow. It was up 182% yesterday. Yes, yesterday, 182%. What happens after hours? Whoops, Bloomberg report likely filing Chapter 11. They have, did I write it down? Over $9 billion in debt that will intercede before common stock is paid back. And it doesn't feel good to see people who are taking their hard-earned money and throwing it in these stocks, calling themselves investors when they're at best speculators and probably gamblers. Do your homework, right? There's nothing wrong with buying high-quality stocks. You don't need to gamble on stocks. And yes, they can have 182% up days, but that's not normal. And somebody's playing you, in my opinion. So again, for whatever reason, yesterday, very unusual behavior going on. So be careful. In addition to that, looks like Macy's is going to make it. They raised $4.5 billion in new debt. Most of that 3.1 attached to their real estate. They had a bunch of free and clear real estate or a very low LTV on it. They raised all of that. So, so again, they're gonna survive this crisis, right? They got $4.5 billion in new monies now. Their balance sheet is impaired. $4.5 billion in new debt that needs to be serviced. They're still a mall-based retailer, right? So, at some point, I don't know. Boeing's was up 6 days in a row. I think, again, it could be one of those stocks that people are betting in. I think people are betting in that 737 MAX is eventually going to get approved. But we'll see. Lots of challenges there. Taylor Brands, which I had to look up. I didn't know who they were, but they're an umbrella company for Men's Warehouse and Joseph A. Banks, considering bankruptcy with all these people staying home and all of that. Not many people wearing suits, sports coats, and things of that nature. So probably to be expecting. One article that really caught my attention yesterday was actually from the WHO, talking about asymptomatic spread is very rare. Now they're talking about detect, track infected people. It's just, this is like as the world turns, what's going on with this thing. So you know, if asymptomatic people aren't really spreaders, at least in most cases, does it make sense to travel? So it's just weird. Um, so somebody's telling me they just walked that back. So maybe the WHO just walked it back and I missed it. If so, this is very, I don't have a lot of faith in WHO. They seem to be the mouthpiece for someone else. And given that we're not funding them anymore, they're not they're not helping us. It's very weird what's going on there. Don't seem to be the independent organization. At least I thought they were. Again, Robinhood users, we've talked about this a few times on this channel now. It looks like they've nailed the bull market, right, or the end of the bear market, anyways. Looks like the average volume from the retail buyers used to be 3 million. Now it's up to 8 million transactions. So again, retail has been a big part of this. So congrats to them. The other thing I saw is, I don't know if you're followers of Meet Kevin's Instagram page. I am. I think Meet Kevin's a very entertaining young man. But he sent a screenshot of what he says is his trading account, which I'm going to assume it is, celebrating that he owns over 1,000 shares of Tesla. Last I checked, Tesla was over 900, so he's almost got $1 million in Tesla stock. That young man has a multi-million-dollar stock portfolio, right? He had, I think Peloton was in there. I don't remember. It was impressive to see. Congratulations, Kevin. Multi-million-dollar stock portfolio at your age. You are using that YouTube money well. Congratulations. And 1,000 shares of Tesla. That's pretty cool. Another company that seems to be getting a lot of play in the market is Nikola, like Nikola Tesla, right? Another company going after the battery market. This one, big rigs and the like. They just did a reverse merger. All right, so they've been publicly traded for about a week. And just the other day, they were valued almost at $30 billion, more than Ford, and they have no revenue. They have bookings, that's not revenue, but they have no revenue. And they were out on the street saying, they're going to hit certain milestones and have to raise more money, dilute shares. So lots of stuff going on in the market. People are chasing, and it's fun. I get it. I was there. I mean, I talk about it in the book. I remember the thrill of making thousands of dollars a day as stocks just went up for no reason. I didn't do any research, and it was great. One year reported 6 figures in stock gains, and then the next year it was all gone, and then some. So I say this from experience. Be careful. Do your homework. If you're going to gamble, don't gamble the whole portfolio. Gamble the part you're okay going to zero. That's a big thing. Next up, Invitation Homes, one of the largest rental homes buyers that bought near the bottom. They just raised $450 million in new debt, new funding. So they have dry powder, right? They're looking to the future. They're also talking about doing some build to rent communities, which I thought was interesting. Fed meeting starts today. It's a 2-day meeting. So today and tomorrow, we'll hear something tomorrow. I don't think there's any doubt that they just say rates are staying where they are. They'll probably be conservative or, conservative. Even though we had a nice surprise jobs number on Friday, I don't think that will sway them at all. I assume they're going to want to see more and more data going forward. Another one, U.S. retailers. U.S. retailers are being estimated to close 20 to 25,000 storefronts this year, with most of those, more than 50% of those, being in malls. Malls are in trouble. Back to Macy's earlier, right? They're still inside a mall. So we are not through the pain yet of retailers. And then finally, I don't know if you saw this, but the U.S. is officially in a recession now. It started in February. It really doesn't mean anything. I don't think it matters. I think we are already working ourselves out of that. Recessions are always called in the rearview mirror, but they did say that started in February. And then the last thing, I want to give a shout out to Airbnb Bookings. There's been more and more articles about people wanting staycations. What they defined as staycations is within 200 miles of driving. The bookings for Airbnbs are, to use Airbnb, or to use their words, exploding higher as the opening of our economies and states go. People are tired of being cooped up, and they are heading out to the beach or the mountains or wherever they want to go. And Airbnbs are coming back. So that's what I got for you today. Very interesting. I got an interview, I think, at 11. I'm going to do another live stream here in 10 or 15 minutes. I had a investor who follows this channel call me about a Fresno deal yesterday on a 5-unit that I felt he was chasing. So I just thought I would share the details with that, really talk about what I was thinking. In a market with very low inventory, like Fresno and like lots of your markets, sometimes you feel like you have to chase. You have to do something. And as I told this investor, that could be dangerous. So I'm going to try to share the details with you as best I remember. I jotted them down as he was talking. So we'll do that in a little bit. All right, everybody. Have a great day. Take care.